In the past, with NCDC at senior 5 and senior 6 level, but with the EU support, we are looking at the BTVET levels, NC, National Certificate, at the BTVET. Thirdly, we support generation of evidence on what works on youth employment. This is very important because there are so many interventions, so many programs by different players, and some of them have not invested in generating foolproof evidence on the intervention mixes that work. Is it skills? Is it entrepreneurship? Is it business? Is it entrepreneurship education? What is it that seems to work from the generation of evidence? We need to distill that. Fourthly is the component that brings us here today, which is providing support to youth groups and youth associations to help initiate and germinate the ideas which they have. And from the exhibition that is around, we have seen some value addition. We have seen some processing going on, processing of pumpkins into wine. We have seen hibiscus, tomato processing. We have seen organic farming. We have seen recycling. We have seen mushroom processing. We have seen many products. And this is in line with the government policy of promoting value addition within local communities. In the Youth to Youth Fund, what we offer to support your idea which you have is training, entrepreneurship skills training, follow-up, monitoring support to make sure that whatever you put in the proposals, you are able to follow the business plan until the business becomes viable, but also a component which we added recently, which is on mentoring. So we would like to appreciate the European Union for their generous support to the youth entrepreneurship facility being implemented in the 11 districts. We would like to appreciate the support from the government, as you see now, closer collaboration with the Livelihood Program. Previously, we worked with the Youth Entrepreneurship Venture Capital Fund, and also even other partners that are not necessarily mentioned in this particular forum.
And allow me to say, most importantly, dear youth participants today, young entrepreneurs, grant awardees, it's an honor and a pleasure for me to be able to congratulate the successful applicants at today's award of the Youth to Youth grants under the Youth Entrepreneurship Facility. And it gives me great pleasure to get the opportunity to meet with young and bright entrepreneurs. You are the future of this nation. We need more of you, lots of you, to encourage and motivate others to follow your path. Because in Uganda, as has been evidenced recently in the 2014 population and household census data, 78% of Ugandans are below the age of 30. And if we disaggregate this further, the majority of Ugandans are below the age of 18, accounting for 55% of the population. This implies that there is an increasing number of young people that are entering the labor market every year. Alas, the formal labor market is not yet ready to absorb such high numbers, and job opportunities will remain scarce. Therefore, youth unemployment is a serious and growing challenge. This is why we are strongly convinced that putting emphasis on youth entrepreneurship is absolutely crucial, making self-employment a viable and an attractive opportunity for many young men and women like you today. As you know, last year, in September 2015, 193 governments agreed on the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda, a plan to end poverty, to combat climate change, and to fight injustice and inequality around the so-called 5 Ps: people, the planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. This Sustainable Development Agenda is a roadmap for youth to changing to changing the way they live, the ways they value each other, the ways they learn, consume, act, and grow. Young people are active drivers of change, no doubt. They need to have the space and the recognition to participate in the translation of this agenda into local, national, and regional policies, in implementation, in monitoring and review, and in holding their governments accountable for these goals. We are therefore very proud from the side of the EU to support the International Labour Organization in its Young Entrepreneurship Facility, or YEF, which aims to enable youth in Uganda to turn their energy and ideas into business opportunities by increasing their income earning capacity and creating decent work for themselves and also for others. Our partnership in Uganda has so far allowed a total of 62 youth organizations from the 11 project-focused districts to receive the Youth to Youth, or Y2Y fund grants. And we'll hand out a few more today. And of these, 18 have already completed their project implementation, and congratulations to them. The remaining 44 are still implementing their projects. We should therefore also look at an opportunity to take stock and draw lessons between the government, the ILO, and ourselves on the nature and the type of the businesses of the selected enterprises so far, and on what they are and what are the drivers that make some projects more successful than others maybe, and some youth performing better in their challenges than others. I sincerely hope that the success of today's participants, trainers, and grant awardees also inspires others to put their innovative or creative ideas into practice. I wish all successful applicants and trainers resounding success in your businesses, in your projects and initiatives. And I would like to thank the International Labour Organization, not only for organizing this event, but for its continuing support to you. Thanks for your attention, and to the youth participants specifically, wishing you all the best success you can have in your endeavors. Thank you very much.
And today, the persons that are going to be certified are the agents of this activity, of assisting the grantees to be able to start and improve their ventures. Chitui Christine. We have Josephine Mukiraine is from the Ministry of Defense, and Wazalendo. Susan Semyange.
Congratulations.
From Soroti.
Congratulations.
We have Oroch George Erongu. We have Owang Daniel Emerald from Federation of Uganda Employers. James Isaac, Tingewa Justus, Judith Abedalt, Oluka Simon, Lutagiwa Allen, Amanire Mike, Coronel Mateso.
My name is Friday Madina. I'm the Senior Youth Officer, the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development. I'm happy to represent the team of judges. Just briefly about the event that we are about to carry out, the awarding ceremony. In 2015, through YEF, 18 projects were awarded grants, and they have been carrying on their activities. And they applied, some of them applied, 9 groups applied for upscaling. So we gave them an opportunity to defend their programs and they gave reasons why they needed upskilling. Youth Missionary Group with an award of 9 million. Congratulations. Please come forward. We also have Babuka to collect government initiative with an award of 10 million shillings. We congratulate you. We also have Child and Youth Empowerment Network with an award of 11 million shillings. We congratulate you and have your certificate of 12 million shillings. We congratulate you. And finally, we have Youth Empowerment in Enterprise Development with a check of 13 million shillings. We congratulate you. Thank you so much.
I'm very excited to do something.
Yes program is extremely important because it is concerned with reduction of poverty among the young people. And I'm proud to be the chairperson of the National Advisory Committee that shapes and directs what has to be done and how it has to be done. When our minister, we are making a contribution, small as it is, you could see from the products. Many of the faces you see here, the first time I met them when they applied for the grant, they were not as shiny as they are today. The smartness indicates that wealth is creating a difference in their lives, in the way they smile, in the way they dress, in the way they talk, in the way they walk. Many of them, I could see them walking with swagger. When I first met them, there was no swagger of any sort. And I want to thank you for having put money to good use. And I want to congratulate those who have been rewarded for being tenacious and being able to defend what they have done before. We hope that again, you will put this money to good use. For us, we are happy when you reduce the poverty among the people you are living with. I want to use this opportunity to thank the European Union, and through you, Dr. Rock, send our regards to the European Union delegation to Uganda, that we really appreciate this support to us. Can I take this opportunity to introduce Honorable Evelyn Anite Kajik. She is the Minister of State, Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development, in charge of Youth and Children Affairs. So she is in charge of 78% of the Ugandan people, and I'm proud to be the one to welcome this giant of a lady in Uganda, and can you join me in welcoming her to come and address you. Honourable Minister, I'm excited to have you here to address the people. Thank you so much.
It's indeed a great honor and privilege for me to be here today to officiate at the award of Youth to Youth Entrepreneur Guarantees for Upscaling and Closing of Knowledge Sharing event. Your presence here is a clear testimony that there is a great commitment by government to work with development partners and the young people to enhance young people's capacity to create wealth and dent the profile of poverty in Uganda. I'm aware that ILO and the European Union are implementing the Youth Entrepreneurship Facility intended to contribute to creation of decent work for the young people, to enhance self-development and creation of jobs for others. I'm so amazed with the exhibition that have been put by the young people behind there, to the extent that I got intrigued and had to dip into my wallet without any plan of purchasing, but because I got amazed with what products that the young people are exhibiting this afternoon. I would like to encourage you, the youth, to equally engage in other government programs. Before I say this, I want to recognize the fact that as we're touring, I got to interact with these young people and discovered some of them are beneficiaries of youth livelihood programs. For God and my country, God bless you all.
3. We want to thank all our partners, our social partners, Federation of Uganda Employers, trade unions, ministry, partners in the trainings, delivery of the workshops and other interventions. We have Wazalendo, UPDF, Spouses Desk. Thank you so much, honorable guests. We want to appreciate the EU, and we believe and hope more support is coming beyond the end of this project. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, and